Hey guys, I'm back here with my 2002 Nissan Maxima, and today I'm going to be continuing the previous video on how to do a full brake system replacement and flush. This is the stuff that you're going to need. So jack stands and a jack to lift up the car, rotors if your rotors look like mine, if they have grooves, and these just look all rusty and old and they just need to be replaced. They haven't been changed for a long time. So rotors, if you're replacing the rotors, brake pads, brake cleaner, and a metal brush if you have one, a hammer to get the rotors off. If you're flushing out the system, then you're going to need an empty bottle with a little bit of dirty brake fluid, some clean brake fluid to replace the fluid that you're taking out, your lug nut wrench, your standard wrench and ratchet set, something to compress the pistons, and probably some WD-40. So this is all set up here and ready to go, so we'll go ahead and get started. First off, get some WD-40 on the securing bolts here that secure the caliper on, and the other one down here. And you may as well get these bigger ones back here as well. So here you will need a 14mm socket and probably a bar like this. So after that's done, then do the one down here at the bottom. Alright, so after removing the bolts, you can go ahead and remove the caliper. You should be able to slide it out pretty easily, and then set this aside somewhere safe. And then we can undo these other bolts on the back. So it's actually an 18mm socket that you need to use for the back ones here. And use the bar if you need to, just like before. And then do the one on the bottom as well. And these just go all the way out here, and then they stop, and then you can wiggle this bracket out. And then just wiggle it some more, undo them, wiggle it some more, and then undo it some more. It's all rusty at the end, so that's why you have to do this. And then that should fall down. Alright, at this point, just get your rotor off. Hopefully yours is loose like mine. If not, hit it here or hit it back here like in the previous video, and you can go check that out down in the video description. So after you have taken that off, you can go ahead and clean everything here with brake cleaner. You would use your metal brush if you have one. Alright, once that's clean, get your new rotor and make sure to spray both sides. And then just put this in place here. And just like that. And then get this and take these metal pieces off. You can throw these away. We have new ones. And clean this piece off with brake fluid and your metal brush. so once this is clean, we can go ahead and put it back on the rotor and just secure this with these here on the back. I suggest spraying these back bolts just so they slide in a lot easier, or they go in easier. So just give them a little spray of WD-40. Alright, so after securing that, go back here and get the caliper and the piston. And first off, clean it with some brake cleaner and your metal brush. Alright, now that that's decently clean, get your clamp and compress the piston here. Alright, so after you've compressed the piston, go ahead and get your brake pads and get these parts as well. So you will have one part that has these things on the side, and this is the part that goes on top right here, and then the other part goes at the bottom down here. If you have some brake lube, now would be a good time to use it, and just put it up here to make sure these don't cause any squealing or squeaking or anything. And then just put this up here. Make sure that goes in place, and then get the other part and do the same thing. And then at this point, get your brake pads. Get one that has one of these pins at the top, and this is the one that goes on the outside. So just line this up here and then slide it in place. And there you can hear it snap in place. Actually, it looks like all the pads are the same, and they all have one of these pins on top, so just make sure to put the pin on the top on the other side as well. Alright, so there we go, we have both brake pads on now. Now get these slide pins here, and what you're going to do is get some of this grease and put it right here on the bracket, and then slide this pin in there, and the boot should seal right there. Do the same with the other one, or you can put it on the bolt before you slide it in. And just make sure those are able to slide back and forth without much of a problem. And then go ahead and put the caliper in place here. Now once you have that in place, you can put these two 14mm bolts back in place here to secure it. And remember, these shouldn't be forced or anything like that. They should go in smoothly. And then make sure to tighten the ones on the back all the way. And this should be slightly loose until we go and press the brake pad to compress that piston again. But before we do that, do the same thing on the other side of the car. Alright, so here is the other side all done as well. Now we'll pump the brakes to compress the pistons again. Your pedal should get hard again. And then once that's hard, we can go ahead and continue flushing the system here. So remember, check your fluid here, make sure that's up to the max level or higher. Alright, then get your 10mm wrench here and your bottle of old brake fluid, and put one end of the hose in there. The other end needs to be ready to be put on this once it's undone. So with this one, again, you may need some leverage to get this undone. Go very slowly. You don't want to break this. Once you have it loose, you can let go of that and then loosen this up. Now, as you can see there, the fluid is pretty dark. So we'll go pump the pedal and get this all cleaned out. We'll pump it a few times. We'll pump it about 3 to 6 times and then check the levels and then pump it some more. And that looks pretty good, so we'll go ahead and seal it off here. I'd make sure to clean this mess up as well. Alright, so this side is completely done and we can go ahead and just put the tire back on, so just go ahead and do that now. Alright, and then we basically lower that side and then tighten it some more. Alright, next we're going to bleed this side. So get your bottle, your wrench, and get this. And make sure to fill up the master cylinder up here. Just top it off. Put the cap back on. And then get your 10mm wrench here and break that bolt, and then be ready to put the hose right over it as soon as possible. So put that over like that and then pump the brakes. And that looks pretty good, so we'll go ahead and pull the hose off and close it off. And that's it. Then just clean up the mess and put the tire back on. Now, as you can see, you will pretty much end up with the same amount of fluid as you put in. So now we'll just go and top it off. And we barely have a little in here. You don't really want to store this stuff, so just give it away or something, since you can't really keep it for that long. And that should be it. Then lower the other side and tighten that side as well. Additionally, if you have some leftover Dot3 fluid, you can put some right here. This is actually your clutch fluid, and sometimes that gets a little low, so if it's low, go ahead and top it off. It uses the same Dot3 fluid as your brakes. But anyways, that is it for this tutorial on how to replace the brake pads, brake rotors, and flush the system on the front brakes on a 2002 Nissan Maxima. If you guys found this video helpful or informative, please remember to like, comment, favorite, or share the video. Consider subscribing as well for future tutorials such as this one. And also consider checking out some of the sponsors down in the video's description. But anyways, as always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.